Alien Worlds is currently one of the most popular decentralized applications with over 150,000 users in a 24-hour period. Now, Alien Worlds is a relatively simplistic, easy-to-play game that's still incredibly popular. So in today's video, I want to introduce you to Star Atlas, which takes the general concept of Alien Worlds, but adds so much more detail, so many more features, and combines exploration, territorial conquest, political domination, decentralized finance, and NFTs all within the genre of a space exploration blockchain-based game. Hey everyone, and welcome. This is Robert with Altcoin Buzz, and in today's video we are talking all about Star Atlas. So for those of you who do not know, the space exploration genre of games is incredibly popular right now, with Alien Worlds being one of the top blockchain-based games as well as one of the top decentralized applications in general. So immensely popular. However, Alien Worlds, the functionality is very simple. It's a easy to play game, but it's also very simple. So what Star Atlas wants to do is it kind of wants to capitalize on this space exploration gameplay, but it wants to add so many more features to be a hugely in-depth ecosystem that's massively multiplayer, online, all of these great features that really allow it to be a more fully developed, fully functional game that is based on the Solana blockchain. So with that being said, what is Star Atlas? What is the gameplay like, and what does it do? The first thing that I do have to point out is that this game is in the very early stages of development. So whatever I show you should obviously be considered tentative and forward-looking, and I won't be able to show you any screenshots of the gameplay because I have not been able to find that it is currently live. So with that being said, this game is based on a few key core components. Within the ecosystem, there's kind of a variety of different gameplay pillars, as they like to call it. The first of these is deep space exploration. So the thing that I really like about this is that when you enter into this ecosystem, anything that you see, you can explore. It's not like, remember when you're playing those video games as a kid and you look off into the distance and you see an island and you're like, I wonder what it would be like to go to that island. Anything that you see in the gameplay, anything that you see in the ecosystem is something that can be explored and visited. And it says, although some distant stars will be prohibitively distant and will require proper fueling to reach, you can still go there. So this is what I like. There's no actual skybox, so exploration can be done visually. This gives all players open exploration to go anywhere in the Star Atlas universe. So I really like that whatever you see, you can go explore. You're not fenced in, you're not boxed into kind of these arbitrary constraints that the game developers have put there. The second gameplay pillar is that of combat. Now, this is what I really like because yes, you can explore, but it's not just an exploration game. It's kind of, if you think of in the real world, if you're exploring these alien planets, you might run into hostile aliens, right? So it's not just exploration, but they also throw in combat as well. So ships are outfitted with weapon turrets and missile bays. Turrets can be energy, ballistic, or disruption type to target different components of enemy ships and installations. These turrets are powered by a power supply and protected by shields and a hull. So one of the things that I really like about this is that the combat is actually very detailed and very intricate, because I remember when I was younger, I'd play like exploration games and things like that, and the combat would be there, but it would be kind of just push button combat. So the example, like with Alien Worlds, right? When you mine, you don't actually have your character going in there and mining, you just kind of push a button. With this, the combat, it's not just going to be push button and the scenario is immediately resolved. You actually get to have different aspects of the combat that make it more interactive, more of an in-depth experience. The third gameplay pillar is going to be a station modular construction. So this is basically building different types of mining installations. So one thing that I really like about this is that even when you're doing the mining, again, it's not just simple, I'm going to build a mining rig, that one mining rig is the same as any other mining rig. You've actually got different types of installations that you can build depending on what you're wanting to do. So we've got decks for commerce, such as storage and trading, a shipyard for manufacturing, repairing, and configuring ships, a refinery for transforming those raw materials into other items that you may need, a hangar for long-term storage of ships, and you can see a variety of the different things that they have here. Again, it's really contributing to that fully developed ecosystem. It's not just build a mining rig, build a ship for combat. No, there's different functionalities, there's different strategies that you can employ. So just adding to that customizability, you have the ability to outfit your crew and ship depending on what you want to do with it. So it says all ships contain components and crew members that enhance different features and stats of each ship. So different ships have different native aptitudes for different gameplay features. So again, It's not just one ship that does everything. You might need to have different ships for different specific purposes. Crew continuously builds up shared touring duty and receive buffs over time. Matching crew incorrectly can cause debuffs to a ship's performance. So again, we're really going into depth. And one thing I will point out when we go through the roadmap is that you'll see that this game is quite a while from actually being launched, and that's because it's just such a massive undertaking, because they're really going into detail. Again, not just having a ship that's customizable, but also having different crew, having different interactions within the crew, so that where you've got to build it to optimize your strategy. And I don't want to get too much into the gameplay because I realize there's a lot more to cover. They also have different professions within the ecosystem. So I want to get a little bit more into the economics of the game. I don't want to talk just strictly about the gameplay because that's obviously important. There's a lot to go over there, but we have to remember that this is a blockchain-based game. So one of the important things for a lot of players is going to be that ability to monetize and earn from their in-game experiences. So within the Star Atlas economy, we've got the Atlas, which is the in-game currency. So Atlas will serve as the native in-game currency within Star Atlas. It's the lubricant of the metaverse. Think of it as the Ethereum, right? Think of it as the fuel of the in-game universe. And the goal here is to really make Star Atlas a business, really. It's to make it a fully functioning, decentralized gaming experience, but that's also based on business principles. So it says operating business is challenging, managing resources will require strategic decision making of balancing those monetary rewards with those operating expenses against income. So the thing I really like about Star Atlas, and I know I kind of keep hitting on this point, is that it's very in-depth. It's a very multi-dimensional game that forces you not just to make good decisions about where you're going to spend your resources, not just about where you're going to explore, but also that combat, also about how you're going to customize your crew. So it's one of those games where a lot of games, you kind of play them out after a while. You reach as many different combinations and possibilities as you can. You beat the game and you stop playing. What I think this is going to be is something that you can really get into it as deep as you want to go. You can trade different things. You can kind of customize. You can keep trying out new strategies because they're going to go so in depth with the development. So in addition to the Atlas token, which is the native token of the ecosystem, you also have the Polis token, which is a governance token that has both in-game and real world utility. So within the game, it gives you advantages such as being able to control political influence, perhaps levy taxes, change different rule sets, things like that. And then with outside the game, it gives you the ability to influence decision making of the Star Atlas development team. So what kind of features do you want to see? What new rule sets should we have? Various things such as that. And this is one thing I want to point out. I'll get to it again when we talk about the roadmap, but what they're already telling us here is that there's going to be a period of centralization of decision making, likely 2 to 3 years of game development and balance. So like I said, this is something that's currently way in the early stages of development, but 2 to 3 years, that shows that they're very forward looking and being open and honest about, yes, most of these cryptocurrency projects, when it's new, there is going to be a period of centralization. So I think that's a credit to them actually pointing it out as well and saying, hey, it's not going to be decentralized from day one. There is going to be a bit of decentralization so that we can make sure that everything launches properly. Now, within Star Atlas, we need to talk about NFTs because that is one of the huge aspects of any blockchain game. So all of the assets that you have, your ships, things like that, will be represented by NFTs. Now, obviously, NFTs means that they can be transferred, that they can be sold on marketplaces such as OpenSea. But the cool thing about NFTs means that they can interact with smart contracts. So by default, Star Atlas is a deflationary ecosystem. So Star Atlas allows you to enter into combat, as I said, with your ships. Now remember, your ships are NFTs. The cool thing about this is that it's deflationary in the sense that if your ship is destroyed in combat, that ship is destroyed in combat. That NFT is destroyed in combat, and it's broken into basically other pieces. So you don't lose everything if you lose combat. You might retrieve back some raw materials from your ship. You might receive back some of the crew members, but a portion of that NFT is going to be destroyed. Now, part of that is gone. It's burned. It's deflationary. On the flip side, the winner, the victor of that combat, receives some of those NFTs as well. So you're probably thinking, I don't know if I want to invest this money and then have my ship get destroyed and lose, right? So they've actually got an innovative system, 3 different tiers of combat. When you first start the game, you're basically going to be in a safe zone. Now, within this safe zone, you're going to be safe. As you move into the intermediate zone, you are able to engage in combat, but it's generally protected by mercenaries, so it's not full-on combat, but it's kind of like that middle ground to give you some experience. The good thing about this middle ground is that if your ship is destroyed, if you lose NFTs, it's not going to be gone forever, right? It's rebuilt, it's repurposed for you. Now, if you are very adventurous, if you want that high risk, high reward, you are able to venture out into a deep space where you play for keeps. Any destruction of your NFTs is a real world event where those NFTs are destroyed and you lose a certain amount of that NFT value from losing the combat. And if you thought this game couldn't get any more in depth, they're actually going to be integrating decentralized finance into the in-game ecosystem. So you've got the ability to lend Solana Serum assets and earn yield, the ability to participate in AMM marketing, so obviously a liquidity pair, trading fees, earning on that, and then yield farming as well. So I don't really know of a whole lot of other games, at least at this time, that have really integrated DeFi into the system. Like, a lot of in-game currencies, for example, you can withdraw them, you can use them as a trading pair on Uniswap or something like that. But actually integrating that into the game itself, that's something that I've not really seen. So this could be a huge step forward. And again, like I said, this isn't an external thing. This isn't taking your, for example, this isn't taking your Trillium from Alien Worlds and lending it as a liquidity provider on Alcor Decentralized Exchange. They're actually integrating this decentralized finance into the mechanics of the gameplay itself. So decentralized autonomous organizations, cities are a likely location for the rise of these financial centers, permitting creators to establish their own fees for trading in these facilities. So imagine you're a space explorer, you're on Star Atlas, and you're actually doing DeFi within this gaming ecosystem. So that's going to be incredibly groundbreaking in my opinion, because like I said, I've just not seen that before. So as Star Atlas moves forward, they're going to be adding the ability of player-created content, basically giving creators the ability to add their own NFTs, being able to add their own in-game assets as well. Alright, so with that being said, I'm incredibly excited for this game. If nothing else, just to try it out, because I always loved space when I was growing up. I loved exploration, everything like that. So not even as it being a cryptocurrency or blockchain-based game, just the space exploration genre in general is really exciting for me. So I'm excited for this to launch, but when can we expect this launch to happen? Well, April 23rd, there will be a website update. On April 24th, Rebirth, a Star Atlas NFT art collectibles series launch. And then on July 24th, the Galactic asset offering launch and a browser mini game launch. So as I said, this full launch of this game is still quite a while away. And really to even get to this mini browser game launch, we're still having to look at July. So when I told you in the beginning that this is something that's quite a while off in the future, it is very far off in the future. However, I do like bringing this to you early. So if you want to get involved, if you want to kind of get involved in those early stages of the game development, become an early supporter of the game, you have the ability to do that as well. So that is a very general overview of Star Atlas. As I said in the beginning of the video, this is something that is a long way off in the future, but looking at all the features, looking at all the different things that they're going to be putting into the game, it's easy to see why this is so far into the future. They're going so into depth with the combat, so into depth with the different ships, so into depth with integrating decentralized finance into the in-game experience. So a whole lot of features, so it makes sense why this is a while out. That being said, it's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm going to be trying as much as I can to keep up to date with it, just out of personal interest. So as always, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of more of a gaming series. I know I usually do decentralized finance, things like that, but this was just one of those really cool games, one of those really cool projects that I wanted to make sure you all were aware of. So as always, thanks for watching. If you've got any other topics that you want us to check out, be sure and leave them below, and I'll see you next time.